Thank you and welcome to our project, Hybrid. It is an IoT system project that serves for wayfinding and navigating inside buildings. It has two main use cases for users, either to find projects or artwork that's submitted by other users, or to navigate to places based on context, so places that are warm or well lit or things like that. This is the general architecture of the system. As you can see, we have edge devices, a gateway that does some fog computing, and a cloud server that does all the hard work. If we start by the edge devices, we have these beacons, our first edge device. They are what collects all the information and all the context data. These beacons send their context data, temperature, and the light level to the gateway device, the Raspberry Pi. It interprets the BLE packets, iBeacon packets, and context estimate telemetry packets. It aggregates it and averages it and does some logic with it, and then it publishes it to a MQTT broker on the cloud server. Once it's on the cloud server, there's an interface that connects that subscribes to topics on the broker, sends this data to the database server, and that guarantees that all the beacon data is available in real time in the database server, as we'll show you shortly. Next up, we have the other edge device, the smartphone. Now, this is what the user is going to see, and this is what the user is going to use. The smartphone also collects data from the beacons, but this connection is independent from the cloud server and the gateway device. So the beacon sends iBeacon packets, and they are for identification and for signal strength levels. These packets are sent to the antenna on the smartphone, and using the signal strength, the triangulator module, which is a bunch of classes, calculates the position or the distance from the beacon to the smartphone, and the application, the server interface gets any data it needs from the server. So it gets the beacon positions, and using those, it triangulates and gets the exact position of the user. On the cloud server itself, we have these modules. Each module that serves a certain purpose. There's a user management module that stores all the user information and handles all user requests. There's a gamification module that applies some game logic to the application, points and scores. There's a project manager, and by project here we mean student projects that can be navigated to. And a context detector. The context detector is something that the database server would use to get the what the context of the user is. So the context of each room is calculated here. Context meaning, is it a cold room? Is it a hot room? Is it a well-lit room? Is it good for studying? Is it not good for studying? Things like that. And finally, the routing engine. So once the user submits a location that they want to navigate to, the routing engine will generate a route from their current location all the way to the location they want to go to.
Okay. So now we'll be demoing how the data moves. So initially, first we run the MQTT client, and a server running messages are published to the presence topic. So the green is basically a presence topic, and the yellow is a topic specific to a room. Now, if we run the client, the Raspberry Pi which collects the beacon data, it first publishes to the presence topic, and basically it gives you configuration data. So it first the message over here is the short identifiers for the rooms, for the beacons within the room, and the room number. Additionally, it will give you basically some configuration data, which is sort of like an image of the map and a base64 format, and how many beacons are there, where the beacons are placed, and such. Additionally, a document is created in the database once we get the message for the room specific. So a document is created specifically for that room. If you open the document, you have the room number and the beacon data. So as you can see, the data is published to the broker, and the same data is reflected over here.
This is the first page of the app. It's a landing page. And as you can see, we have either find a project or find a place. Finding a project is for finding a project that's submitted by another user, and it's just a static location. Static in the sense that the same project will not change when the user submits it. And find me a place is for context data. So if I go into find me a location, I can log in to submit my own projects, but I don't need to be logged in to find projects. So if I try to sign up, for example, and then same password, and then I register, I am registered and logged in. And of course I can log out and log back in. I can show it to you. Logged in. Cool. So now if I go to find a project, what's it called? The events section has not been added yet, but it should be added soon. We can either submit or explore projects. If we explore projects here, we receive them up from the server, and our position will, and the projects, obviously, the project that we can navigate to. And this is where we are right now. So if we start moving around the room, you can see it moving slightly to the left because we're going out of the room. And if we click on a project to navigate to, we'll see it on the map.